Hey everybody, okay, 2 in a row here. This is day 2, January 2nd, of The Language of Letting Go by Beattie. And it's me, LisaT, lighten up your life with positive energy. And one other thing I thought of today was, transforming your life with Tabando or something like that. A new one. Maybe I need a new catchphrase, right? Transforming with Tabando. Transforming your life with Tabando. That's me. Okay, so yes. Language of Letting Go by Beattie. I'm reading January 2nd. Healthy limits. Boundaries are vital to recovery. Having and setting healthy limits is connected to all phases of recovery. Growing in self-esteem, dealing with feelings, and learning to really love and value ourselves. Boundaries are vital to recovery. I remember when I learned my first boundary about 3 years ago. I remember being with a friend and going, oh my God, I just set a boundary. Boundaries are, if you're in recovery of any kind, from codependency or from addictions or from, any kind of recovery. I think me deep down, I believe that we're all on some sort of recovery journey. We've all got a story, right? So, so setting boundaries can be terrifying. I was working with a young woman recently. We were talking, and she was saying how she set a boundary, and then it felt like icky, and she wanted to renege and take it back. It's a people-pleasing thing. People-pleasing is also an indication of unresolved childhood trauma. If you're a people-pleaser, there might be something that's unresolved inside of you, because we want to make sure they feel okay, and then I'll feel okay. If they feel okay, then I feel okay, which is, back-asswards. So, so boundaries. So my point is that boundaries are not always easy to set, but they are vital to recovery, as it just said. And it's vital to learning how to really love and value ourselves. So, boundaries emerge from deep within. They are connected to letting go of guilt and shame. Setting boundaries is connected to letting go of guilt and shame. And that example I just used. I remember when I set my first boundary, I remember that moment, but I also remember setting boundaries after that, and then wanting to pull them back, renege on them after the person I set them with, had a not ideal reaction to me, setting that boundary. And then, so the guilt and the shame was triggered. So that's how the boundaries and are connected to guilt and shame. So they are connected to letting go of guilt and shame, letting go of it. So when you set a boundary, you learn to let go of guilt and shame, and it's connected to changing our beliefs about what we deserve. As our thinking about this becomes clearer, so will our boundaries. When you start to know more and more and more about the goodness you deserve, then you start to set boundaries better. Boundaries are also connected to a higher timing than our own. We'll set a limit when we're ready, and not a moment before, and so will others. So when you're ready, it's going to happen. That's why there's no should'ves or could'ves in this life. It all happens on a higher power's timing. There's something magical about reaching that point of becoming ready to set a limit. There's a magical thing that happens when you're ready to say, no more, I'm going to set this limit and not let this boundary be crossed anymore. There's a magical thing about reaching that point. We know we mean what we say, and others take us seriously too. Things change, not because we're controlling others, but because we've changed. Like I said before, right? When we change the insides, automatically the outsides start to just in a parallel way, they change too. The things on the outside, and you're like, oh my gosh, look what just happened out there with the way people are treating me or with the way circumstances are going, because I worked on the insides. It's this magical thing. And you're like, how did that happen? Well, that was my experience. I'm like, how did that happen when I did this? I didn't know that was how it all worked. We just got to trust this process. So, things change, not because we're controlling others, but because we've changed. Here's your prayer for today. Today, I will trust that I will learn, grow, and set the limits I need in my life at my own pace. This timing need only be right for me. The timing of my boundary setting, and the time of me self-loving, and the time of me, moving into this next phase or next chapter or next leveling up, is the right time for me. It's all we got to know. This is right for me right now. Mwah! That's all I got. Have a great day loving yourself.